guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with Watcher with another round of Mystery Files. Today, it's the alien encounter that led to a shootout. Yeah, an alien encounter with a shootout. This is sounding interesting. I got nothing else to say. Let's see it. Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Let's learn more. Here we go.
Welcome to Mystery Files, where we take a deep dive into cases that span from the creepy to the truly bizarre and everything in between. I'm Ryan, and today I'll be forcing my colleague Shane to hear all about the alarming Kelly Hopkinsville alien invasion. And in the end, you'll have to decide whether the case is solved or if it's simply a mystery.
Let's begin. Play that already. Oh boy. This should be interesting. Sure, we'll be seeing some of this stuff. So, but let's see. Here we go.
Tell me if you could guess what this one's about.
I think it's about aliens.
How did you gather that?
It's curious because it does say invasion. And usually when aliens are involved, it's sort of a, you know, they crash, nobody saw it.
Yeah.
A full-on invasion makes it sound like there's a lot going on.
Yeah, you know those like alien stories where they're kind of doing recon? They're like in the cornfields, like, oh, well, let me look at the, let me look at
that does sound about right.
Yeah.
Ooh. It's not one of those stories.
Okay. Yeah.
This is a story where there's action.
They're like, give me all your money.
Okay, let's get it. Season 3. Here we go. But first, I do have a mysterious videotape I have to watch.
Oh, another one of your stag films. Want to see my videotape?
Oh boy. You know the drill.
Oh, hey,
gotta play it.
On the road, some things can get hairy. But thanks to today's
Manscaped
sponsor, it doesn't have to stay that way. This video is brought to you by Manscaped.com, the global men's lifestyle brand that is revolutionizing the landscape of men's grooming. Today, I'm going to show you something extra special. Manscaped Beard and Balls Bundle, featuring the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra and the Beard Hedger. It's the perfect duo for your face and below the waist. When I'm not in the spotlight, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is. It has 2 interchangeable skin-safe blade heads, meaning it's doubly tough on hairy, yet so gentle on your skin. The foil blade leaves me with a finish that's irresistibly sleek and flawless. Grooming in the shower is effortless since this trimmer is waterproof. It's wireless, with up to 60 minutes of runtime on a single charge and equipped with a dual LED spotlight for precision. You know, like when they shut off your lights because you forgot to pay your bill when on the road. You could still see what you're doing. This trimmer has 3 comb options to control your preferred hair length, a constant RPM, and a handy travel lock, so my bag won't vibrate when going through security. Ooh. Now let's talk about the moneymaker. The perfect companion for sculpting and styling your facial hair with ease, aka the Beard Hedger. This trimmer features a titanium-coated stainless steel T-blade, and with 20 different length options to choose from on the zoom wheel, I can achieve any look from a neat stubble to a full-on beard masterpiece. Just like its counterpart, this little guy has a 60-minute runtime on a single charge and is waterproof, so you could trim with confidence in the sink or shower with ease. Charging cables, combs, and travel bags keep me organized and gorgeous while on the go. So there you have it, ladies and gents, the Manscaped Beard and Balls Bundle, featuring the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra and the Beard Hedger. Once you experience the precision and versatility and convenience of these tools, you'll wonder how you ever groomed without them. Bundle up and save with 20% off plus free international shipping when you use code WATCHER20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with promo code WATCHER20 at manscaped.com. Now if you'll excuse me, I got a wave to catch.
And back to first encounters. All right.
The sun was setting in the small town of Kelly, Kentucky, as Billy Ray Taylor went outside to get some water from the well and saw a bright object streak across the sky above the farmhouse, then crash to earth. He ran inside and told everyone what he'd seen, But Billy Ray was a known joker, and they didn't believe him.
Fair enough.
Billy Ray was in Kelly visiting his 25-year-old friend, Elmer Lucky Sutton, who he worked with at a traveling carnival that had stopped about an hour north in Evansville, Indiana.
You had some hicks. Can you say that? I mean, I say that lovingly, affectionately.
I don't know.
A guy.
Could you say that now?
Yeah. No, it's fine.
Is that just like only white people could say that kind of thing? Is that like your version of that?
Maybe.
Okay. Two were staying at the...
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure if I would call someone from the country a hick. Like, you could ask them, but I don't think that should be something you should say out loud. But still, like, the first guy that saw it was like, "Hey, guys, I just saw a shooting star!" And they were like, "Sure, buddy, sure." And then it must have been aliens in there. Get a life. Like, I can imagine him, like, saying that, and just like, "Why don't you believe me? I know I joked a lot of times, but this is real." I don't know. And that's what I feel like happened, but let's move on.
The farm owned by Glennie Lankford, Lucky's mother. And Bill...
just to go back to what we were saying before, because I do want to clarify. This is some good hick content.
Yes.
Thanks.
We got Billy Ray.
I don't know if we should say that. What if we call them carnies? Because they're
So we got
traveling.
Taylor, we got Sutton,
carnies.
we got
Carnies,
Lankford.
Well, I'm saying they are
Shootout.
carnies in Kentucky. You got Billy Ray and Lucky Sutton
Okay.
working at the carnival in Kentucky. That's good.
Okay, well, it feels like you're mocking.
And I want to be clear.
You're mocking the locals. Is
I
what it
have
feels
family
like.
Yeah, you
in
kinda do,
Kentucky.
buddy.
It's okay.
I have to agree
Well, I
with
can tell
Ryan.
that by just looking at the mustache.
Uh-huh.
The two were staying at the farm owned by Glennie Lankford, Lucky's mother, and Billy Ray and Lucky were accompanied on the weekend trip by their wives, Vera and June. It was a hot night on Sunday, August 21st, 1955, and Lucky's brother, John Sutton, and their half-siblings, Glennie's three youngest children, all under the age of 13, were also home. Glennie's second husband, Oscar Lankford, had died the year before, and the whole group had attended a revival, a Southern Baptist church service earlier in the day, and now we're playing cards. What do you think about these folks being literal traveling circus folk?
Seems cool. Seems like a fun way to live.
Does that give them more or less credibility
Yes,
in your
you
mind?
got me.
I don't think it has any
keeping it
bearing on
busy,
their
I
credibility.
guess.
That's very nice of you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't,
works,
have
I guess.
expected that.
I've met a lot of carnival folk in my day.
Can you say carnies? Is that allowed now?
I'm calling them carnival folk.
Maybe?
I don't doubt that, I don't think they'd take any offense
Again,
to
I guess
carnies.
whatever floats their boat, I guess.
Trade.
The reason why I'm setting this up is because perhaps there might be some extraordinary details about to happen.
I want to, if there's any carnies in the comments, shout out, give us a holler.
Shout us out.
Solidarity.
All right, yes.
the
I don't know.
carnies.
I'll have to check the
Kelly,
comments later.
Kentucky is a small town off of US Route 41, about 8 miles north of Hopkinsville. In 1955, there were only about 50 people spread out in the 1-mile radius of the town, which had a grocery store, a restaurant, a service station, and a couple of churches. Alien invasion and UFO movies like Invasion of the Saucer Men and Earth versus the Flying Saucer Men were popular at the time, but there's no reports that the group had seen one recently. Billy Ray wouldn't shut up about what he'd witnessed, so Lucky, who had his nickname tattooed on his knuckles, went out with him to take
both knuckles or
another
just one?
look. That's when they saw something come out of the woods. Now descriptions vary, but they described them as 3 to 4 feet tall, looked like the bones of a skeleton with shiny metal over them. And when they ran, their legs looked like fluorescent lights flashing. They had webbed hands with claws and sharp pointed ears. Lucky said while his daughter would later say her dad described them to her as little silver beings, 2 to 3 feet tall, with big ears, big glowing yellow eyes, and long arms. They seemed to float atop the ground. Terrified, Billy Ray and Lucky ran back inside the house. What is your instant reaction of this? You're rented an Airbnb
you see that,
out
be
in the
like,
countryside.
"That
Your
is
two
one
friends
weird
come
ass
out,
bat."
They come back in. Oh, it's me. Shane, I just saw a little metal man.
Sure, buddy.
He had fluorescent little legs and he was floating.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I guess I'd ask you to take me out there to see it. Right?
That's actually fair.
Yeah.
True.
I think
See is
they're
believe
lying.
it, I guess.
Now, Billy Ray, known to be a joker, but
Billy
this
Ray's
is
a
a
joker.
pretty imaginative description of an alien.
I could imagine that.
Yeah.
That's true. I guess it's not like, this is
I'll do a different one. Big yellow being 7 to 8 feet tall, small ears,
You're just talking about
tiny,
Big Bird.
non-glowing, red eyes, short arms, walked on the ground.
When did you see this?
Made it up.
That was good. That was really good.
Gotcha.
There.
Then, all of a sudden, Lucky's mom, Glennie, spotted a creature with long arms and talon-like hands raised in the air, approaching the back of the house. While she hid the kids under the bed, the men grabbed shotguns and rifles. Billy Ray ran outside, and the creature grabbed him. But when Lucky shot at it, instead of the bullet piercing its skin, quote, it floated to the ground and rolled away. The door quickly shut to the outside. Lucky and his brother John situated themselves at separate windows and shot at the creatures, who swarmed the house. They came in waves, shooting in windows and doors. The gunfight went on for 3 to 4 hours, with the men reportedly going through 4 boxes of .22 caliber ammunition, trying to keep the aliens at bay. None of the bullets had any effect on them, instead ricocheting off their bodies. Finally, there was a lull in the action at 11 p.m. The Suttons, Langfords, and their guests hurried into 2 cars and sped off to the Hopkinsville police station for help.
3 to 4 hours is a long time.
Also, like,
It's a long time to be shooting at aliens.
I just think it's really funny to be blasting for 3 to 4 hours and be like, let's go to the police station.
Because it's one of those things where,
That
like,
didn't
when you're
work.
telling the story and you're like, it was 10 minutes. And you're like, it wasn't 10 minutes. There's no way.
That's like a trench warfare fight in World War II. That's like somebody like repeatedly feeding them ammo. You know, like in like the war movies when they have like the fucking like belt of like ammo and they're like, I'm out, and they're just like.
Maybe this is what inspired Saving Private Ryan.
Maybe that's what Spielberg was thinking of, not his father's experience in World War II.
So talk about what inspired Saving Private Ryan. He's like, aliens.
What is your reality meter at right now?
Well, right now it just sounds like a story someone could tell. So I need to kind of hear more of, you know, what sort of evidence there is to back it up.
Like, I wonder if they lost the wait, when they come back, they're like, wait, where'd the bullets go? What the heck? So I'll be honest, if I was in the police station and they came in there going aliens, be like, sure. How about you guys go over there, take a drug test real fast. We'll have send some officers down there to see what's going on. Huh? Or at least if I was there. Like, sheesh. Just say, like, aliens? Sure. Moving along. You want to hear the shots, by the way?
About 11 police officers from the city, county, and state police headed to the farm to investigate, where they were joined by military personnel by nearby Fort Campbell and reporters. As they searched the home, yard, and surrounding field and woods, they found rifle and shotgun shells, holes in screens, windows, and woodwork, but no proof of alien invaders.
Not surprised.
Though 1 or 2 people reportedly saw a meteorite or 2 flash through the sky. Russell Greenwell, police chief of Hopkinsville at the time, reported, quote, there were military police and police everywhere, and all of a sudden, a cat came out of an old hog house, and one of the military police stepped on the cat's tail. You never saw so many guns come out of holsters and machine guns come up to the ready when that cat screeched, end quote.
Where'd it go?
Poor cat.
Just imagining like,
Poor cat. Just.
all pointing at a cat.
It sounds like no evidence of aliens.
But there was a funny cat.
We like
still,
that.
I mean, that cat
Just
almost
like,
got fucking blasted. But,
What?
you know, there were holes in the windows and
My bad.
Because the guys were shooting.
for 3 to 4 hours. Yeah. The investigation
least
went
the bullet
on
was still
until
there.
about 2 a.m., but finding nothing, the group eventually cleared out. Around 3:30 a.m., according to family lore reported by Lucky's daughter Geraldine, quote, my grandmother is in bed and my dad is in a rocking chair beside her with a shotgun. She opens her eyes and she sees one at the window, end quote. The attacks and gunfire continued until dawn, when the creatures finally disappeared. Let's pretend this actually
Wait
happened.
till a different house.
And it happened to you. And you take a shotgun, you shoot it at this like metal man being, and the bullets just stop and fall. Are you realistically continuing to shoot at it for 3 to 4 hours?
Probably not, but
Yeah. How did that first
if
have you
anything,
like
I would keep shooting at it to keep it
like
away.
hit hit it with the
You know,
shotgun. Just
maybe
to
it's not
see if
hurting
it's
them, but if I'm firing it at them, I don't know. Maybe it spooks them a little bit.
Maybe this is just the pacifist inside me. I shoot this thing, the pacifist inside me shoots it with a
Just
shotgun.
shooting it with a gun.
Shoots it with a shotgun.
Yeah.
The bullets fall to the ground. I'm going, hey, my bad. I take the gun, I kick it towards them. Like, I
And
realize
then
I'm
what?
outmatched here.
Do they take you? Do you get took?
Well, maybe they're like, oh, that was
Our
probably
bad.
an accidental fire.
But we'll see.
He probably just accidentally pointed a shotgun at me and fired.
Well, they don't know human nature. They probably like, this guy's probably pretty stupid. They're right. And then I just do that, and they're
Okay,
like,
the
oh,
fact
we'll go
they
to a
just
different
said
farm.
they're
I'm just
right.
curious what you logically would be doing in this scenario.
I feel like I would call the police, you know, from the get, but you know,
Whatever works.
I'm not Billy Ray.
You're not Billy Ray, that's true.
I ain't Billy.
No one's
You're
Billy
Billy Ray,
Ray.
you're Midday. The next day, Lucky Sutton reportedly told the group, don't talk about last night. Just keep it to yourself. No good can come of this. Let's just go on with our lives. However, the story was already out, and they did talk to the press. He told the
That didn't
Evansville
last long.
press, quote, I hold my hands to God and swear on my mother, this is true, end quote.
Swear
A
on
few
your
days
mother.
later, his brother John told the Courier, quote, you can believe it or not, just don't laugh at it. I mean, how many
Yeah,
people read that?
you
little quote
laughing
there
at
and didn't
that,
find
like,
at least
hey,
one
you
quote, but
told
it's
us not to
all
laugh.
possible, right?
Like
Even
no, I
the
didn't.
caption
I
on
didn't
that
promise
photo.
anything.
This is the house near Kelly where little men from out in space.
God.
We're supposed to have been last night.
Yeah.
With the gun is
One
Lucky
little man
Sutton
broke
looking up at the
today.
fourth roof
Oh my
where one
God.
of the invaders reportedly sat.
I just love
Just
like
sitting there kicking its feet.
it's like barely headlines. Little men from out in space were here last night.
Man, these
The
guys are
story
dumb.
spread. Their descriptions of the creatures exaggerated, becoming little green men, and they drew a large following. Many paid a visit to
This
the
where they
Langford
came
farm
from?
to see for themselves, wait for the aliens to come back, and take souvenirs from the property. Supposedly,
messed
a
up.
dead circular patch of grass had formed on the property, drawing more visitors. County deputies tried to keep trespassers away, but Glennie couldn't take it. She sold the farm within 2 weeks. It wasn't just that the
Poor
crowds
Glennie.
were annoying. Quote, she was afraid the aliens would come back, reports her granddaughter. Now, this is unfortunate. You know, like,
Yeah, fair.
we deal with this sometimes on Ghost Files, our other files show. The idea that if somebody has a haunted house, there is an incentive there to
Get out of there.
perpetuate the story, I suppose, so that people come investigate the haunted house. This is a case where there is no incentive for them to perpetuate this alien story because people were just coming to them and bothering them and trying to take shit from their house.
Well, if
And
they
she sold the house immediately, which I find to be very compelling because if you're looking for attention, it's a pretty extreme measure to take to get the attention off of you.
I mean, I would be curious to know how much they sold it for. You know, with added attention, someone was like, I can monetize this. I'm gonna buy this, turn it into like, you know, come see where the aliens were.
I saw some beef jerky here or something in the gift
Alien
shop.
jerky, yes, yes, yes.
In the years that followed, the group
right.
didn't talk about their experiences. Lucky remarried, had kids, and didn't tell his children about this experience until one day in 1968 when two strangers knocked on his door asking to hear the story. He took the kids to Kelly to show them the sights, and his daughter reports, quote, the well was still there, and the old house still stood, and back in the field was the huge, perfectly round circle of dead grass, end quote. Even after the story was out, she says, quote, it was very rare to get my father to speak of it. You could tell it really bothered him. And
Sure.
when he did, quote, the look in his eyes never changed when he spoke, and the ghostly pale color of his tanned skin would always come. The night changed his life, and the days after that made him bitter, end quote. Lucky died in 1995.
Why would it make him bitter?
Well, because people think he's crazy the rest of his life.
Well, that's what you get for making up a story.
But, well, what if he didn't make up the story?
Nah, he's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I'd be bitter too. If this happened to me and I was like, I don't know what to tell you. I shot at this thing for 3 to 4 hours and nothing happened. And then for the rest of your life, everyone's like, that guy's got a couple screws loose.
Well, the other thing you can do is not tell anyone.
For what it's worth, he did say we shouldn't tell anybody.
He was in the paper, photographed, going,
Well, I mean, the police came, reporters
this is
came.
where I saw him. Okay, so I see aliens, I tell everyone about it, nobody believes me. Whatever. Why am I going to be bitter about that?
Well, because that's what you're going to be known for the rest of your life.
No, so
True.
be interesting.
Man,
You
you're kinda
know, do
alien.
other things.
Everything's
It's not
well.
my fault Lucky gave up and died. A bitter man.
Well, I mean, he didn't
Wow.
ask to be
Harsh.
visited by
I'll be
aliens.
like-
He's literally the victim
I'll be
here.
like, sure, I'll tell you about the aliens. Again, nobody believes me on this, but it was a crazy fucking thing that happened, and I'll tell you all about it.
Decades later, Kelly, now with a population of 300,
days.
rediscovered the story in their history and decided to celebrate it. The first Kelly Green Men Festival took place in 2011 on the anniversary of the Lankford Farm invasion. And it's continued ever since, drawing thousands of fans into the fields of Kelly to celebrate. Lucky's daughter Geraldine attends every year, telling her family's story. Well, you know, it's kind of annoying that no one really believed him, and then now they make a festival of it. Like, you know, you kind of wish he would have been able to see that.
Maybe if you weren't so bitter about it, and if he was just like, hey, no big deal, let's have a festival.
I'll tell you who's not bitter.
That funny guy.
The funny guy.
Yeah, like, I
So
get an
what
alien
actually
spaceship.
happened that August night nearly 70 years ago? Now that we have all the information, let's get into the theories.
Here we go. Start up.
Before we get into the theories, let's make sure that I'm properly dressed for the occasion.
Oh boy.
He's
Oh,
got the
what's he
tinfoil
got?
hat.
Yeah. Look at him go.
He got the hat
Well,
on.
sort of. Now I don't know what is the big spike on top.
That's the antenna to prevent them from reading my thoughts.
What the?
Okay.
Draw
It
the
seems like
fox
it would
in, though?
broadcast your thoughts.
That's a good point, but wrong. Theory one.
What's up?
It was something from the nearby military base. As I
Military
mentioned,
testing,
Army
huh?
Base Fort Campbell was just 20 miles down the road, and they tested
that far?
aircraft there. It could have been any number of things. Night practice flight maneuvers testing new technology, and civilians wouldn't
Okay.
have been privy to the truth. Lucky's daughter, Geraldine, has called this theory wishful thinking.
Yeah, it doesn't
sounds about right.
necessarily explain the little fellas, right?
Explains the things that they saw in the sky, but it doesn't explain, you know, the gunfight that took place for 4 hours and then continued throughout the night after the police left.
Also, the military would probably be sort of secretive about these things, and maybe not. You know,
I mean,
try
Cold
to
War
raid
era,
the
not
house.
surprised.
Yeah, I don't know why they would be raiding this house.
That doesn't make any sense.
So, throw it out. The theory sucks.
Yeah. Ooh.
Theory two.
Yeah, true. Plus, I mean, in the 1950s, we were still in the midst of the Cold War, so yeah, I doubt they want this stuff getting out. And the fact they were out there, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it could be possible, but hard to say. Anyway, next theory.
Two.
It's
Meteor shower.
a meteor shower, okay.
The Perseid meteor shower happens every year and peaks in mid-August, right around the time of the Lankford Sutton family's experience. It's one of the most voluminous showers with 50 to 100 meteors per hour, many with wakes of light and color
Okay.
left behind them as they streak across the sky.
I've seen the Perseids. I wouldn't confuse them for.
Did you shoot at them with shotguns?
I didn't
No.
start shooting a gun at the
Start
sky.
hooting and hollering?
No, I mean, when you were talking earlier about things in the sky, I assumed probably just meteors. But
True, true.
again, doesn't necessarily explain the bulk of what happened. So to this one, we'd say, boo,
Nah.
I'd
another
say
boo,
another boo.
bad.
If anything, it explains one half of the incident, but not the one that's
True.
actually
The sightings.
Maybe
That
all
could
of these
explain the
together
sightings,
will
but
explain
the shootout,
what's
yeah,
going
doubt
on.
it.
Yeah, we're weaving a quilt.
Yes,
a
yes,
theory
yes.
quilt,
Yes.
if you will. Theory three.
Three. What do we got?
Animals.
Animals. All right.
Monkey?
Check out that monkey.
Monkey with
Monkey,
a gun?
monkey.
I know. Joe Nickel, a senior research fellow with the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry, believes what the group thought were aliens was actually a pair of great horned owls. The birds are known to be territorial and may attack humans when threatened, swooping down on them and attacking with their talons. What the group perceived as shining bodies could have just been reflections from the farm lights. However, this territorial behavior typically occurs during nesting season, which is in winter, not when the incident took place. Now, there have been cases in the world at large in the past where an owl may be the culprit, namely the staircase incident. I don't believe this is the same thing.
Yeah, because owls are, you know, they swoop.
They'd be swooping.
They don't necessarily like sort of walk, you know, through
Yeah.
the woods.
Plus, I don't think I
and
could.
cause bullets to.
I'm
Rock,
pretty
yeah.
sure if I shot an owl with a shotgun, it would explode.
Tell me about these monkeys.
Yeah, wouldn't there be like
I
a
just
movie?
thought they're cool. You know, monkeys. You know, it could be a monkey. Look at that guy.
Wait, is this, no, I mean, did anyone put forth that theory about monkeys, or you're just saying that? It could be monkeys with guns.
Well, it's not a gun. He's on a branch.
Yeah, but no, but it says,
Look how cute
No, I
he's
mean the one
looking.
below.
That's what you're
oh,
not
monkey plus gun equals dead monkey.
Yeah. Another belief that has
Yeah, fair.
circulated over the years is that a traveling circus, not the one Lucky and Billy Ray worked for, by the way, had stopped nearby and some monkeys had escaped. Lonnie Langford, one of the kids in the house that night, said later, quote, "These simply was not monkeys. Monkeys don't wear silver suits," end quote. While others have simply pointed out that monkeys would have bled and died if they'd been shot.
Oh, monkeys bleed.
They do bleed.
Maybe bleeding.
Theory 4.
Actually, did they see blood at the scene? Like, when they first arrived, was there any blood? Like, I don't know if they said anything, but you'd think they would have checked. Like, I mean, sure, they said it, but they could at least check to see, like, okay, there's gotta be some blood here. And be like, okay, nothing bled. Yeah, there's gotta be aliens, or something like that. Like, if it was an animal, there would have been blood. Like, remember, 4 hours, I'm not sure how bad of a shot they were, but still. Anywho. Next.
It's right here. They drunkenly.
Nobody ever talks about if aliens have balls. That's a thing, right?
You interrupted Theory 4 for that?
Sorry, go ahead.
Theory 4, they drunkenly imagined the aliens.
Well.
This was the reigning theory at the time for those who weren't busy ripping the house apart for souvenirs. Too much moonshine, said one newspaper at the time. More recently, county historian William T. Turner speculated, quote, "My opinion is that they've been dipping into what we in the local vernacular call panther juice," end quote. One of the sheriffs who'd investigated said, quote, "I think it was imagination that built up from talk. They just got themselves worked up over nothing," end quote. And Air Force Major John Albert told the Center for UFO Studies that Glennie Langford had recently sent away for a Christian publication that for some reason had an image of a monkey painted silver. He believes the picture was so disturbing to her that she projected it onto whatever was out there that night. However, her son Lonnie says that while his brothers drank some, quote, "My mama never allowed it in the house. There was no alcohol there that
Alcohol.
night," end quote.
Alcohol doesn't make you hallucinate.
No.
Yeah,
not unless
that's what I was
it's
saying.
like,
Like you said, drug
in
test.
conjunction
That
with
would
something
definitely
else,
cause you to
right?
hallucinate.
I guess
Alcohol,
if you were really
doubt
drunk
it.
and saw monkeys in the woods, maybe then
Is there alcohol that makes you
you could-
hallucinate? Let me know.
sort of hype each other up into a shared delusion.
A frenzy, but I don't think we would then be like, I'm gonna imagine and hallucinate a 4-hour gunfight.
And glowing yellow eyes and
And then
silver skin.
Bullets that stop like Neo.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I don't know about this
Don't know
one.
about that one.
Theory 5.
Last one.
It was aliens.
You don't know that yet.
Okay.
Aliens.
Aliens.
There we go.
Oh no!
Hi.
Why?
Wait, who's that?
Thank you.
Who the hell?
So nice of that alien to drop by
What the hell?
Nice little flourish.
and give a little bit of a cameo. I
Alien.
can't believe we booked him. It's incredible.
Okay.
Glennie was a highly respected woman in Kelly. Even then, police chief Russell Greenwell, while not convinced of aliens, told his wife, quote, "I don't know whether the lady had really seen something or the people there had scared her, but she was really sincere in what she thought she had seen," end quote. The whole family stuck to the story over the years, never wavering, though the adult witnesses have since passed on. Of course, it's since emerged that from 1947 to 1969, the Air Force investigated unidentified flying objects in a project known as Project Blue Book, and reportedly they did investigate this incident. That's the entire file right there.
Yeah, I'm not a big alien guy, you know? I don't
Yeah,
read
makes
up on
sense.
them.
I mean, they obviously have a little bit more, credence to them now that the
Mysticism?
military and the government has
yeah.
officially announced that they are looking into them.
That ain't doing much for me though. Like I said, show me the pics, you know?
I mean, there are some pretty compelling videos from
yeah, but
cockpit cabins.
they're all baloney. I just want to see
It's a cockpit cabin from an actual pilot.
I'm saying if
Yeah.
the government has aliens, show me a video where they're like, all right, we got one right here. Here he is in a little cage.
More recently, in 2023, veterans testified in Congress about the military's knowledge of unidentified aerial phenomena. So, what do you think, Shane?
I think they're lying.
It's still a
It's
mystery.
not a theory.
Maybe it's a combo of meteor shower, dranken animals.
It's all three.
They're drunk. There's
It
meteors,
could be a
so they're
combo
primed
both,
to be like,
but
what's going on?
Hysteria,
Maybe
but
there's
then
an
again,
owl.
like he said,
Maybe
they
there's a
never
monkey.
seen the alien
But then the
movie,
shooting,
so
yeah, the
that's
bullets
out.
dropping, all
So.
that stuff. That would have to be fabricated. It's either, to me, it's either it happened or it didn't happen.
I do believe that people may believe something happened. It's that thing, eyewitness accounts are notoriously, unreliable.
And yet weirdly specific, though.
I don't know.
A lot of weird details in this one.
That it is.
baloney.
That it is. Well, let's see it. Aftermath?
Although we can't know for sure what happened that night in Kelly, Kentucky, perhaps we'll soon know more about whether extraterrestrial life is out there. But for now,
Yep.
this
Hopkins alien invasion? Mystery.
It's a mystery. We don't know.
Well,
You know, it's a
that's
mystery.
obvious.
It's officially a mystery. We don't know. It
That's
could be
obvious.
real, could be not. They could be liars. They could be telling the truth.
fun to think about, fun to talk about, even if it seems unlikely.
Yep.
I disagree.
You disagree that it's fun to talk about?
No, I think it happened. I'd like to think it happened. I realize anything I say
I mean,
right now
hey,
is going to be
once the aliens
kinda-
come out, we can
kinda
be like,
just
okay, which
watered
one of you
down
did
by
the
fact
alien
that we're
Hopkins
in
thing,
tinfoil
you know?
hat. I completely forgot I had it on
Yeah.
somehow. My head's very hot.
Want to take that off?
Keeping the heat in there?
Yeah. Well, we'll see you next week.
Why would you put
Wow, that really, it was too big for me and it barely fit on here.
Oh, yeah, you've got a little head, I've got a big head.
Well, goes to show you, they're having fun. Despite the Watcher thing earlier, but a lot of fun. Anywho, I don't know about the whole alien thing, but who knows? Never experienced it. I'm curious if it actually will happen, but each is a weird place. Till then, thanks for watching. See ya.